Hey guys, in the last video, at least for now, we're going to be going over making a custom game mode. So in our mods folder, we will make a new folder called Gamemodes, just the way it's written. And then you put in here whatever you want your game mode to be called. I've just named mine testing game modes, but it can be anything you want. Just make sure it's a JSON file. And this has a lot of different stuff in it, but just like how we did with our other things, we'll open the main Erannorth Chronicle, look at his game modes, and we will select all, Control A, copy, Control C, go into ours, and paste it. And that's basically what I did. I pasted chosen, but I changed it into testing game modes. And then I'm not going to go over all of the stuff in here, but I'll go over some of it. And change a little bit at a time. You can really customize the difficulty however it's best for you. So just to go over a couple of them, you have the challenge rating. The challenge rating determines, let me make a new character here to show you, but it determines the amount of skulls that you have when you're selecting a game mode. And I think it affects the level difference of like elites and of bosses, because on the higher skull modes, I notice like the skull modes that the elites and the bosses are much higher level than me. Um, so then we have, and before we get too far into it, another thing in order to get your game mode to show up like this is you have to make sure you go into your mod loader, and then you should have all the lines up to here, and then we need game modes, and then whatever you called it in here, make sure the names match. And then once you have that and you save, both of them, it should show up. But to go through them a bit more, days to live is if you want a mode with a timer. Maybe you want to play Apocalypse because it's the hardest mode, but without a timer, just to try it out. So you could just put Apocalypse mode in here and just change the days to live to zero, I guess, and that would get rid of, I guess that nullifies the timer aspect. These are the level of cards merchants sell up to, the minimum encounter and maximum encounter. So how many monsters will appear for normal battles or elite slash quest battles. The elite level difference, like it says one here, but I sometimes notice they're much higher. Maybe that's just bosses, I'm not sure, but maybe that's tied with the challenge rating. And you have your health and your power multiplier, um, the resistances, XP. You have a lot of different things in here you can play around with. How many copies of a card you can have in your deck. Ask questions. Take it a little bit at a time. That's the best way. It looks like a lot, but a lot of it I feel like makes sense just from reading it. Like summon power cap. Okay, that's how strong my summons can get. And then anything below this part right here is like a default setting, so I don't even worry about under here. There's probably cool things that I can do, but I've mostly just stayed, in this upper part of it. And this auto grant perks, this is kind of interesting. So this is kind of a way that he's cheated in. So Curse of the Chosen. So if we look in just his main perks folder, and we put in Curse of the Chosen, we can see right here. So for the Chosen mode, how it has like the description here, and it's just like everything else where you have a part that describes it, but then you also need a way to apply that to the player. So this is how he's done that is, he auto grants you a perk that gives you all the stuff that it says that it's gonna give you right there. And in my last video, I showed you that I made a little perk called Increased Gold Cap, just to raise the max amount of gold that I could carry. So I can just plug that right into auto grant perks, increase gold cap, and so it will automatically increase my gold cap when I start the game. So go through this, look through it, maybe just change one or two things to begin with. You know, I suggest when you're first starting out to not change a lot of things before you try to start the game, or the game just might not start, and then you're like scrambling to try to figure out, okay, which part of it did I break? So work with it a little bit at a time. Don't like try to make all of these different things and then start the game and the game doesn't start and you're like, okay, which one doesn't work? Because I've totally done that before. So now we have our custom race, our custom sub race, our custom class, our custom subclass, our custom background, our custom starting kit, and our custom game mode here. And hopefully it loads us in. So this is just chosen mode, but I could have changed some stuff around. And then because I have this increased gold cap, that was super easy to make. And all I did, I can't remember if I said in the last video, but I just searched in perks because I know that there was one that increased it. So I searched for bank credit. Oh, did I not write it right? Oh, band credit. I just searched for bank credit, and I could see here how he did it. Oh, there's just the max farthings thing. So that's the same thing I'm going to keep harping, going back to, or that I would like to end the video in. Oh, by the way, like you can see here, I can carry all that gold, so it is working. You have all the resources. Well, you have most of the resources, not all of them, but you have a lot of really good resources in just what Raven's created. So like inklets for creating your own custom. Those are like the pop-up things, like with the Inquisitors or whatever. Like that's how you would make those. But all good templates for a lot of the things that you want to create are already here for you. So you can kind of go into them and pick them apart and figure out how he does stuff. Like this loot here is all the different weapons. So if I wanted to make a weapon, um, what I would do is I would go to the player's handbook and I'd say, okay, well, I know that a silver dagger is a one-handed weapon. Uh, let's see. Oh, it has sneak attack and silver. Use the card search to kind of visually see the cards, and then go into the perks or into the actions or the perks or whatever the card is, and find the card and find the code for how to do it, and then just pick out the parts that you want and apply them to your cards, and test them out and see how it works. Hopefully this series of videos has helped some people with getting started. There's a lot more to learn, but I feel like this is a good introduction. Maybe I'll make more eventually, but I hope that you learned some things and you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.